The fans and the riders have gathered looking forward to round 5 of EA Sports Supercross. It's our 3rd event in Anaheim, and the first 2 are worth a second look. Anaheim, round 1. A very surprised Travis Preston took the checkers with an untried James Stewart finishing second. 2 weeks later, it's back to Anaheim for round 3, and Stewart finished second again, but this time bringing a win with him from round 2. And with a win last week in Phoenix, James Stewart is packing the 125 West points lead, returning to Anaheim for round 5. Next. It's a beautiful evening for Supercross as another sellout crowd awaits round 5 of EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. Hello, everybody. Art Ekman along with former champion David Bailey. This is the final race of the 125 West before they take a break and we get the 125 East underway. But so far here in the West has been all young James Stewart. He's been as advertised, David.
He is spectacular. He's the fastest. He's the most creative. He's the most stylish. He comes from behind. He intimidates everyone. And he's the complete package, Art. Everyone loves him, too.
So far, the veterans in the 125 West have been unable to get the consistency to challenge him.
Well, you know, I think we got to look at David Pingree and realize that this is not his fault. He was in second place in the points. He won here the last time he went into Phoenix, and it was a bike problem. It wasn't his fault. He was lucky that he was able to walk away from that. He'll be here, and I think he's back in form. But guys like Danny Smith, Brock Sellards, Justin Buckelew, they just haven't gotten consistent starts to get anything started.
Let's take a look at the Suzuki storyline. First of all, can James Stewart just continue to dominate? Will a veteran rise up and challenge? And number 3, it's coming down to this. Who will battle for second place in the 125 West? David, let's take a look at the Speed Stick track map.
Right off the bat tonight, these guys are faced with something brand new. The starting line is elevated about 4.5 or 5 feet. As soon as they get over the starting gate, they drop. Throws off their timing. Another new section as they come out of the first corner. These whoops are elevated also. They go up and then back down. Throws off the timing. Triple right here as they head into home plate, and another whoop section. Another triple. And we've seen a lot of block passes so far in these corners right here. Look for that.
Now that James Stewart has proved that he can win and win again, who else in this series wants to step up?
Travis Preston's already found his way to the winner's circle here in Anaheim. He wants to do it again, but one rider's not going to have a chance is Roderick Thane, the guy who lost the first win on that last lap. Thane, as we reported last week, is in the hospital. Well, we went to the hospital, had shoulder surgery. Sorry, it's kind of loud down here. And Thane is not racing. 4th place in points is out. One less person for James Stewart to worry about.
Our EA Sports starting lineup. Preston will have Tedesco to deal with, who's now second place in the points. Preston, of course, winning the opening round right here at Anaheim. Gosselaar, Sellards, Decker, Laninovich, the young Laninovich, they could be in it. One-time winners Brandis and Lytle. Most anything can happen here in our qualifying round as the top 9, don't forget, the top 9 transfer to the main event out of each qualifying heat. There's Preston getting ready.
Well, yeah, I think he's getting a little bit impatient with having to be upstaged so much by Stewart. He talked about last week after the race. He goes, you know what? I'm just going to pin it. I need to ride over my head to keep up with that guy. And he's thought about it all week, so we'll see if he can do it.
Number 29 on the red Honda. That's Preston. Number 45 on the blue Yamaha of Troy, is Ivan Tedesco. Who will get the whole shot here in our open qualifying round of 125 West action?
Boy, did he go flying. That was Casey Lytle.
And it was a great break for Travis Preston. There's Lytle trying to get going. He's had some tough luck this year. He led, actually, this race in the last round. That was about the only break he's got. A reversal this time, and Preston didn't have a very good start. He went into the corner mid-pack. He did the right thing.
That's Gosselaar on the Amsoil Dr. Martin's Honda, battling it out. But Preston, Gosselaar has got the speed. There's no question about that. But Preston is a little bit more conservative.
Well, you know what Preston's going to be able to learn is how to pin it and how to ride a little bit on the edge. That's what Gosselaar does. Gosselaar is absolutely as aggressive as Stewart or anybody in this class. They're trying to get him to settle down, and they're trying to get his teammate Preston to pick it up.
Tedesco is down.
Look at Billy Laninovich, number 132 on the KTM, trying to work his way up into qualifying position, see what the leaders are doing. He's had all kinds of problems. Finally got into the main event, actually had the fastest lap time in practice in Phoenix. He's having a hard time riding relaxed in the race. A rookie.
Joe Olaf in 3rd place. Take another look at the start, David.
Well, you can see Casey Lytle goes in there and just completely washes out. I believe it was Lytle who got together with Pingree a few years ago. They went down the first corner. That was the year that Pingree lost the title by whatever it was, like a point.
That was Olaf that was right next to him, David.
He kept getting caught up in first turn pileups.
Well, Tedesco is all the way down to 16th place, and he's 2nd in points coming into the race. So qualifying round right now does not look good for Ivan Tedesco, but it does look excellent for Chris Gosselaar. Gosselaar, Preston, and Olaf, the top 3. Those yellow arrows next to their names means they're in qualifying position.
See Tedesco there trying to get going. Not up to speed. He's obviously bent the bike. It seems like, it looks like he's okay, but we'll see what Davey's got more on that.
Davey?
Ivan Tedesco's got a bench shifter. I just talked to his mechanic. He's going to try and ride it out, but he's going to have a hard time making the main event if he can't shift gears.
Is it worth it, David, right now, to not get that bike fixed for the LCQ?
Well, he probably the best thing is, since he's going to have to ride that LCQ anyway, the last chance qualifier, just go back to the pits and give his mechanic more time.
3 laps to go. And we go back to our leader, Gosselaar, who's led several races this year, including qualifiers. And there's number 29, Preston, and Tedesco is stalled off the track. He's still got the engine running, though. He's looking down.
He's there looking for his mechanic.
Boy, tough luck for Ivan Tedesco.
Gosselaar just made a mistake and lost the lead. So Preston, once again, the riders are crashing, and he's in the right place at the right time.
Something to be said for that consistency of Travis Preston. Preston back on the podium with a 2nd place last week in Phoenix. It put him back to 3rd in points. 27 in back of James Stewart. Number 29 is our leader, and that's Travis Preston.
As kind of goes along with what I was saying, that Preston is a little bit smoother than Gosselaar. Gosselaar is trying to settle him down a little bit and keep him from making the kind of mistakes that he just made, handing his teammate the lead. So Preston might be kind of second-guessing that theory of ride a little bit over the edge and wire. This is paying off for him right now. I was about to say Gosselaar looked great. He had a chance to win the opener here and went down.
Yeah, Gosselaar running into the back of Tane, and they were battling for the lead. And they both went out as far as a chance for the win anyway. Gosselaar came back for 3rd, making the podium, whereas Tane couldn't quite get back that far.
Preston was right there to scoop up that.
Tane took a 5th in that race.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if Stewart is the fastest guy in this 125 West, is Gosselaar makes the pass.
Here's a great, excuse me, David, a great battle going on between Gosselaar and 79, Joseph Olaf. It is the final lap.
It doesn't surprise me to see Gosselaar moving back around those guys. He's the fastest rider in the race. See, as he went over the finish line jump, he's looking to see where his teammate is out front. He's back up to 2nd.
Right now, Preston, Gosselaar, Olaf, Brandis, Laninovich, Brock Sellards, Decker, Reif, and Bess are in qualifying position with Isaiah Johnson on the bubble.
Good ride for Bess. I talked to Ryan Hughes, who's been helping him, and he said Bess injured himself a little bit in practice. Just kind of dig deep. Anybody can tell him how to ride through pain and injury, dig deep with Ryan Hughes. And then Laninovich dropped back a little bit. He's just ahead of Sellards now. I'm surprised Sellards hasn't been able to really get up there and run. He belongs up front. He hasn't really had a chance to get up there and stay there in this whole series.
That was Casey Lytle being lapped, and Preston having a little problem getting by him. As the flag waves, the checkers for Preston. It is his 2nd heat victory in 5 qualifying tries this year.
little whip there from Gosselaar going, okay, I won't crash in the main. I made my one mistake. I can't wait to hear from Preston.
Olaf had a great start, and this is the best by far of his qualifying. His best previous to this was a 7. Check out the leaderboard as Preston gets ready for the podium. Our Honda leaderboard: Preston, Gosselaar, Olaf, Brandis, Sellards, the top 5, with Laninovich, Decker, Reef, and Shane Bess also qualifying. Isaiah Johnson and others going on to the LCQ. Round 5 of VA Sports Supercross is being brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arena Cross champion. By EA Sports, if it's in the game, it's in the game. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. We're back at Edison International Field in Anaheim, California. The 125 West is getting ready for their second qualifying heat of action after all kinds of action in heat number 1. Let's go to Davey trackside.
Well, Travis, it's a shame you can't gamble here in Anaheim because you've been awful lucky.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to leave tonight and go straight to Vegas and put all my money down on red. But, yeah, I don't know. You know, people ride out of control, and I ride, you know, like 95% knowing I can go fast and still keep it on 2 wheels, and it's paying off.
Main event, it's going to come down to you and Stewart. Looks like, can you beat him and get 2 wins on him here at Anaheim?
I sure hope so. He looked a little sick earlier. I seen him throwing up. So, I mean, I wish everybody the best of luck, but I sure hope I can beat him.
Nice ride.
Thanks.
Okay, our EA Sports starting lineups with the rookie Stewart against Pingree, who's back after that hellacious crash last week. Buckelew, a one-time winner, also in this field. And Danny Smith could be a contender. Number 37 in yellow. Here's Stewart at the line, number 259. Jeremy Albrecht, his mechanic, a veteran mechanic, worked with Jeff Emig during his championship years. But he looks cool at that gate for being sick.
He does. And you know what happened? Preston's right. He did throw up actually in staging before the practice session. He's also riding a little bit sore from that crash he had in practice with Pingree at Phoenix. His ribs are all bruised and dislocated from what I hear.
He was right in the title hunt before the bike malfunctioned, cased a mound, triple clamp broke, leaving his bike in 2 pieces and pretty banged up. 32nd board is up. And this start is really interesting because it drops off about 4.5 feet.
They only gave these guys one shot at it, one practice. See how they do here, sign sideways.
Second qualifying heat, 125 West, underway. A battle, and James Stewart snuck through everyone. James Stewart on the Kawasaki is our leader coming out of that first turn, David.
It didn't look like he had the whole shot, but he went into the inside. He actually went all the way out across in front of the line of Justin Buckelew behind him in number 64, just to make sure Justin would have a chance to get back ahead of him over that wheel section.
Tony Harrison is in third. Number 245, Tommy Harrison out of Simi Valley, California. But out in front, you see the master rookie, maybe the best rookie ever in 125 action. Number 245 is doing a great job.
See the lead Stewart's already pulled. He's able to triple twice in the rhythm section leading up to the finish line. He's the only 125 I was seeing do that consistently.
So it's Stewart, Buckelew, Harrison, the top 3 with Pingree in 4th after the opening lap. There's Pingree, number 39 on the KTM.
Now, you know, when you're caught in a pack like this, you really can't do the rhythms through here that you want to do. He finally makes the pass. By the time he gets up into second place, if he can, I think Stewart's going to be gone.
Remember, only the top 9 qualify for the main event. Looking up at the top left portion of your screen, you see the numbers 1, 2, 3 there, the positioning. But look at the green on number 5. That means they moved up a lap on the last lap. A red box like Viejo out of Mexico means they dropped back a lap on the last lap.
This section right here, you see how Pingree's had a touched so many times that last lap. Stewart and Buckelew behind him learned that line in practice, and he's doing it here in the race, stayed with him. Buckelew and Stewart getting into it a little bit in the practice session this afternoon and taking it to him right now. I thought Stewart would pull away a lot more than he has by now.
Boy, it's remarkable to see number 39, David Pingree, come back after that tremendous crash that we saw in the introduction of tonight's show. Harrison and Danny Smith on Suzuki's battling it out for 4th place.
Smith finally, just like Pingree did a lap ago, working his way free from that pack. He's going to go after Pingree now and try to match his pace. Pingree looked good in practice. He rebounded. He's motivated. He's maybe not quite 100% as far as his breathing. He bruised his chest a little bit, but that all goes away when the adrenaline kicks in, and Smith wants to keep pace with him so he can go into the main event with a little bit of confidence knowing he's got the speed.
He won round 3 right here at Anaheim, the 2nd race at Anaheim this year, and that was his 4th career victory. His first coming back in 1995. Stewart is our leader, Davey.
You guys were talking about why James threw up. I talked to his mechanic, Jeremy Albrecht. The problem is he took some pain medicine for that crash in practice. And Dave Bailey's talking about it bothered him all week. Took some last night on an empty stomach. He's been sick all day. I would say he's probably only 90%, but guys, 90% works for James Stewart.
He only needs to ride at about the 80%, 85% that Preston was talking about. But you can't count your chickens. Anything can happen. Now watch what he does in this section. This is leading up to the finish line, the rhythm section. He gets a drive out of this corner, triples, and triples again. Look at the gap.
And with such style, David.
Just unbelievable. He's starting to finally break free from Buckelew now. You look back into that corner, you don't see anyone. He's got that entire straightaway. Now this is when he starts to get into his flow and relax a little bit. He got into his flow early in Phoenix last week in the main event. And then he decided, you know, I got such a big lead, let me cruise a little bit, and that's when he went down. So here I expect him to ride at his 90%, if that's all it is, the entire time. Albrecht watching him. You know, it's hard from the mechanics area and actually from Davy's vantage point down there to really see much of the racetrack. So you can see him right there. He's looking up on the big screen to keep an idea where he is. And you know, I noticed at San Diego, he put on the signal board. Here he comes to this triple again. He's still doing it. He sits down. They didn't jump the second one. He didn't get lined up right.
White flag. Final lap for James Stewart.
They got the yellow flag out, so he has to roll that. And this is where they get their signal. They look to their left over there. That's where they'll get the signal. And Albrecht put on the board, sing. And I wondered what that meant. He said, well, his dad says that he sings to himself out there when he's riding. If you can imagine that, to keep himself relaxed. He put it on the board, and that's when he almost went off the track and crashed and gave up that main event win. So he's been afraid to put it on ever since.
In his opening race, and this is rookie year, he crashed in almost every preliminary round, but he won the LCQ. And it's putting him in the main event. He took a 2nd place in his very first pro race as he signifies to the crowd taking the triple on the far side. James Stewart is amazing. He's so mature for a 16-year-old. He's a joy to talk with off the track as well. The checkers for Stewart. He's won his last 4 qualifying heat races. Here comes 3rd and 4th. Pingree, number 39. Danny Smith, number 37, trying to get it back together after a horrible start on the season. So James Stewart now is putting a string of victories for qualifying heats together. His times are blistering.
He's always
checking out the Suzuki leaderboard now with Stewart, Buckelew, Pingree, Danny Smith, Keith Johnson moving up into the top 5. As we take a look at Kevin Johnson, Andrew Short on a Suzuki, and 8th and 9th making the main event. Tommy Harrison, who had a great start, but he's going to the LCQ. We'll be right back as Jeff Hemming has a special feature for us from Anaheim, California in a moment. A look at at our upcoming events. We'll be in Minneapolis on the 16th. Then it's down south. We go to Atlanta. It's the Super Bowl Superdome in New Orleans on the 16th. And then on to the world-famous Astrodome. Our Honda close-up today focuses on AMSOIL Honda's Christopher Gosselaar. As number 90 visited recently with former champion Jeff Emig.
First off, tell me about the first race at Anaheim this year.
First race didn't go quite as I planned. I mean, I actually was doing better than I thought I could.
You were really close, though.
Yeah. Coming into the season, I just hoped top 5, just be consistent. I mean, after my heat race, I knew I can do it, and just put my head down the main and went for it.
Yeah, you were extremely smooth throughout the whole race and had a little slip up in the whoops.
Yeah. Just that last lap, I was really nervous. I mean, those whoops were really hard, and I kept telling myself I gotta get to these last laps. And sure enough, came in. I kind of hesitated. I mean, I should have just went for it, but then it's my fault. I made a big mistake, and thing got by me, and I went to the second set and just tried to go wide open through him. But he started in the middle and kind of moved over into my line, and I tried to switch my line in the middle, but I mean, there's no way you can switch your line once you're going that fast. So barely tagged the back wheel, we both went down. But I mean, after the race, I was really bummed, and even a few days after, it took me a while to get over it. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with that race.
Is winning a race this year the top goal?
Sure. I mean, after that race, I mean, I know I can be up there. I know I can do it, and my confidence is a lot higher. And every week, I feel better and better, and my bike's so good. I love it, and the team's great. So yeah, for sure, by the end of the year, I hope to have one of these.
The AMSOIL Honda team here has had a lot of success this year with yourself, Michael Byrne, Michael Rocco, Preston winning a race.
Yeah.
Does that help elevate you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our bikes are really good this year, and it helps your confidence knowing your bike is just one of the best out there. So I mean, I'm just going to try as hard as I can to win one for them.
In the past, or in your starting years in Supercross, you've been a pretty crazy rider, hanging it out, hitting a lot of tough blocks, going off the track.
Yeah. Those are the past years. I mean, I think I'm smarter this year and a lot more patient. I mean, Mike's taught me to be a lot more patient and wait for the race to come to me.
Last year, 2001, you were fairly injury-free.
Yeah. I went through, I think, the whole season without an injury, and that's good for me. I'm hoping for the same thing this year. So.
Yeah, the first couple of years were pretty injury-prone, and then that makes you take steps back.
Yeah, sure. I mean, my first year I got hurt really bad, and I was out like half the year. I shouldn't even race the first year. I mean, I was hurt so bad. Just coming back from that took a lot.
What do you think it's going to take to win this first 125 Supercross?
Well, I mean, got to be smart, that's for sure. Start's always good. So I think if I get a start and I'm up there in the beginning, I think I'll be able to win one of these.
There's a look at Christopher Gosselaar's numbers from last year. An impressive young rider ready to break through. Our Rider of the Week from EA Sports has got to be young James Stewart. Stewart was so strong in Phoenix last week that he could afford to make a mistake and still dominate the field for his second win in only his 4th career start. 16-year-old James Stewart has been extremely impressive in his very young career. How impressive? Well, we asked his fellow riders.
The main thing is he's fast in his corners. I mean, the guy is phenomenal in his corners, so he's a force to reckon with.
A lot of amateurs, they come out of the amateur ranks, and it's a lot tougher than they think, but he seems to handle it really well. I mean, really fast rider and hard to beat, that's for sure.
I think the kid's got crazy talent. I mean, probably as talented as any rider I've ever seen. And I've been around for quite a while, you know, through the sport and racing and whatever. I think he's still making some rookie mistakes, but all in all, way less than most rookies. So I think that just backs up the amount of talent and speed that he does have.
He just looks like Ricky pretty much on the bike. Little out of control, but rides fast. Little luck, too. I've had some problems. Some other riders have had some problems, and he's been crashing a lot, too. And luckily, somehow, he bounces right on his bike every time. But I don't know how many times you can crash that hard and get back up on your bike.
Will James Stewart show up the rest of the field again? The 125 West Round 5 main event is coming up next.
What is the sense of an avalanche?
For all your racing news, RPM tonight. It'll be Sunday, 10 Eastern Time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. All kinds of celebrities when we get in this area. There's Vince Vaughn, a longtime Supercross fan, and he brought his buddy Ben Stiller, the expecting father, to this Supercross matchup tonight. The last chance Nissan results. Boy, this was a close one for Ivan Tedesco. Top 4 qualifying. Shane Bess, Eric Viejo. Ivan Tedesco went down in the first turn and barely made it into the main event. He is second in points to James Stewart. Daniel Brer rounds out the starting gate. Let's check it out now, the Honda starting lineup. Stewart, Preston, Buckelew, Gosselaar, all doing well. In fact, on our Suzuki storyline, as you notice as we go through the starting lineup, Smith, Pingree, Gosselaar, and Sellards, along with Buckelew, raced well during qualifying action. So it'll be interesting to see if that 125 veteran can get to the point of putting pressure on James Stewart. Coming out of that first turn, as you see the starting gate here at Anaheim here tonight, you'll see the white line across the track. That's the hole shot line, the Powerade hole shot line. The first rider over that line wins $1,000 here with 125 Western action. David Pingree, number 39, coming back after that hellacious crash last week. Very sore shoulder. 30-second board sideways. We're ready to go for our main event. The final round from Anaheim, California. Round 5. Pingree on the inside gets boxed out. But it's Brock Sellards getting the hole shot. The Powerade hole shot to Brock Sellards. So KTM is well represented up front with a guy who we expected to be out front a lot more this year than we've seen so far.
Oh, and Danny Smith goes down and collects Stewart.
Stewart went down too. Oh, we got a 125 main event that you're going to write about.
And while Smith was trying to get going, he went down again. Stewart dead last, so for the last 2 times here in Anaheim. And I talked to him about the last one. He liked that win, or that second place finish, the most of all the 4 races he'd ridden so far, because he felt like it gained confidence, and he used it as an opportunity to see what he had. Here it is again. Front end's going to wash out. That slick surface right there, anything that's light colored is like ice. Stewart really had nowhere to go. What a shame. We're going to see some...
Pingree got around him, and there's Jeremy Albrecht. But, you know, he knows what his man can do.
It has not been a good weekend. Oh!
There's Stewart trying to fight back through the crowd right now.
And they're going to...
Danny Smith, number 37.
Watch what they pass right here. Pingree.
Pingree went down.
End over end. His bike actually balanced upside down for a moment.
Well, you can't take your eyes off this track here in Anaheim. And the gracious style now of James Stewart.
Well, this is the break that Sellards had at the first race. He's got to stay on 2 wheels. And I keep talking about a little mistake right there. I keep talking about Billy Laninovich. This kid is good. He came up through the amateur ranks. Not quite as impressive as Stewart. But
Laninovich in second place. Sellards, this has not been the season for Brock that he envisioned coming into the year. His best finish in the opener prior to tonight was 4th right here at Anaheim in the first round. Here's Laninovich.
Watch his style. He's got the jumping down, good timing. He's keeping pace with his teammate. Seems like he's always around a teammate in all of these races. He squats down, stays low.
He's improved, that's for sure. A 22nd at Anaheim 2 and a 15th last week at Phoenix. Both times getting into the main event from the qualifying round. Gosselaar, number 90, on the Oil Honda, is in 3rd place. You notice the boxes up on the left. The green box, number 19, Decker. That means he moved up a lap on the last lap.
Now I'm thinking Gosselaar is going to start applying a little bit of pressure to Laninovich. Gosselaar's been up front. So so much in this series. Laninovich really hasn't. I'm wondering how he's going to react to that kind of pressure, because if he just keeps his cool, he should be able to stay on the podium. It'll be a good night for KTM after the disaster last week.
There's Stewart, still making his way up through the pack. He is the fastest guy on the track, no question about that. And you see some lap times up on top. Number 1 and 2, Sellards and Laninovich had the same lap time. Let's go to Davey.
Well, guys, you're watching James Stewart. He's riding with his clutch lever bent up. But as you can see, he is completely going for it right now. Keep an eye on the way he goes off the jumps. He keeps looking over to see where the leader is. Stewart not racing against these guys. He's racing against Brock Sellards.
Good point, Davey. And he just made a mistake in the whoop section. I didn't think he was going to be able to jump the triple. He actually wheelied into the face and still jumped it anyway. He made a little mistake right there. And I talked to him about, you know, if you're going 100 miles an hour on the freeway, a lot of these racers have done that somewhere in their driving days, and that's not they're not concerned about themselves. It's the other people going 55 and 60 that's the problem. Stewart is capable of going so much faster than some of these back markers that's really a danger, and he can't just open up and turn the fast lap times he needs to.
He just moved into 8th, passing Eric Vallejo. Our leader, Brock Sellards, will be back in a moment as you see our top 5.
There's never
a long way to go in our 125 Western main event from Anaheim, California. Number 18, Brock Sellards. He has led a race before this year, but went head over heels, losing the lead.
I don't think he's going to make that mistake again, Art. He's a veteran. He's almost won this championship before.
There's Laninovich, 132, trying to catch Gosselaar, number 90.
Gosselaar got around him a few laps ago, and Laninovich has been able to keep pace with him. So he's learning right now. He's not going crazy. He's going, okay, I'm still in 3rd. Even if he drops back to 4th or 5th, it'll be a big improvement over what's been happening to him so far.
Gosselaar leading off the year with a 3rd here in Anaheim. He scored a 4th last week in Phoenix.
Gosselaar's trying to settle down just a little bit. He's able to ride without any pressure from Laninovich. He's probably kind of torn between trying to ride smooth and get a good finish, get some points. At the same time, go, man, I need to hang it out a little bit to try to get up to the leader, Sellards. See what happens.
Gosselaar's problem, of course, in the past has been going down in key moments. They took a possible win away from him in that opening round when he collided with Tane, ran right into the back of Tane, fighting for the lead on the very last lap. And behind Gosselaar is still Laninovich, Kevin Johnson, Joseph Olaf, who's having the race of his life here in the 125 main event, as he did with his best qualifying position ever getting into the main.
Now you got a battle developing behind these guys with Stewart and Preston.
Whoa, they took an elbow in the whoop section as we take a look at Sellards. There's Stewart battling Preston. Stewart in the whoops, David, got in on him and gave him an elbow.
He's aggressive. We've seen that. He's going to let Preston know right now, hey, I'm not fooling around. I'm angry. I'm not going to settle for this position. Get out of the way.
On the stopwatch, you see the lap times there. The last lap and the current lap. Whoa, blitzed by him. Looked like he had nitro in his tank that time. He went right by him.
We keep talking about how smart he is. That was the obvious choice to go wide. Preston had to cover the inside. And it was really a no-win situation because he knew that Stewart was either going to block past him if he went wide or get a run on him off the outside.
Olaf, number 79, is his next target. I remind you, Brock Sellards out in front has a 3-second lead on Gosselaar as we take a look at the real battle coming from behind here in number 259. Our points leader, James Stewart, came into this race leading by 25 points. He gets by Olaf with a good, clean block pass.
It is amazing. You can hear the crowd erupt every time he makes a pass. Preston's watching him just get around riders and disappear. You see he looked over his shoulder there. Oh, he goes down again. That's a slick section. It's been a terrible weekend for this kid.
Stewart down.
It looks like he might have been stung, too.
You see his clutch lever straight up in the air. You see Jeremy Albrecht going, uh-oh, that's a points lead problem now. So once again, Preston is able to ride around that and make up some time and points. Watch it again. He's going to go jump this little double jump. As soon as his front wheel hits that little icy spot, no chance of saving it.
The bike just rolls right over on him. He's back up and running right now.
I was just about to say, Art, that he had a chance at the podium. Not anymore. Now he's got to be a little bit concerned about not going down again, to settle down and take care of that points lead.
So a tough way to end the 125 West before a break of like 5 weeks. So James will have all kinds of time to recoup during that time. But Brock Sellards is on his way, maybe, to his second career win. We'll be right back with the action.
Only $2.99 per person.
After winning his qualifying heat in round 2, an early crash gave him a sore neck and sternum, but he is right back in the action here in our round in Anaheim. The 5th round of action. Gosselaar is behind him. Brock Sellards had a 4th and a 9th in the previous 2 Anaheim races, with Gosselaar getting a 3rd in that first Anaheim race, but didn't fare as well in the next one.
He's starting to close a little bit, Art, so Sellards is going to start feeling that. See how close they are right there.
A crash on lap 13 for Gosselaar in the last race here, and he ended up in 20th.
Gosselaar has apparently decided, you know what, second's not good enough for me. He's going to do what Stewart was trying to do and ride a little bit on the edge and on this slippery surface. Any spot you see of light-colored dirt is so slippery, and it's getting the better of these guys.
What did Preston tell us? This guy is going to make a mistake. I didn't believe him at the time.
Well, you know, I mean, I talked to Stewart for a couple hours yesterday, and it was so impressive to hear his approach, his way of thinking, and he goes, I don't make the same mistake twice, and he's been proven, he's made a believer out of me, but boy, he's a little bit off, you know, medication for the soreness of his ribs and stuff, it's just, something's not quite right there, and he's going to stew on this for the 6-week break before Houston and come back and correct the problem, I have a feeling.
Less than 4 laps to go for Brock Sellards. Can he capture his second career victory? He would be the 4th different rider in this 125 West in the 5 rounds to win a race.
He's just got to stay steady and do what he's been doing. I don't think that Gosselaar is catching him fast enough to really be a problem unless he makes a big mistake.
His last win was in 1999 at Pontiac, and that's his only win so far. But he helps put KTM back on the map for the 2nd time on the year. Don't forget Pingree's fine win.
There's the gap. It's close, but it's not anything for Sellards to worry about.
Only 5/10 of a second difference. Gosselaar behind the front-running Brock Sellards.
That's so hard. See, Gosselaar's in a no-lose situation, really. You know, he can get in there and take a couple of chances and maybe make a mistake and not lose his position. Sellards, it's his to lose, and it's so hard. You know, we can see that gap, but I'll bet you for Sellards, it feels like about 2 inches.
For Sellards, it was a 4th and 9th. You saw it on the screen. His last races here at Anaheim. Boy, this has got to spell a big relief for him if he can hold on. Because Sellards, after that 4th place, got a 15th in San Diego and a 9th here back, as we mentioned, in Anaheim, and then had to go all the way to the LCQ to get in the main event at Phoenix, and then took a 5th place. We're coming up on a white flag the next time around for Brock Sellards. Number 18. This KTM program in the 125 has been amazing in the last 2 years.
I really felt for him last weekend. I mean, that was, not only did the bike seize on the takeoff, the front end broke completely away. There's Sellards' mechanic
Mike Williamson.
This is a big turnaround from the misfortune they had last week because Pingree was in second place in the points, coming off a win, building steam. And his chance to win the championship went down the drain a little bit, but Stewart rather, as the white flag, has opened the door again a little bit.
Tedesco, who came into tonight second in points, 25 points behind Stewart, is currently in the top 10. But with his poor qualifying appearance, and he's had trouble getting through the field, we might have a big logjam up toward first place there.
Yeah, Stewart clear back in 13th. That's going to allow everyone to close the gap some.
On the final lap, Brock Sellards has got to be wondering now, please, don't anything go wrong with this bike. Don't make a mistake.
He's getting ready to lap his teammate, David Pingree. Pingree can at least celebrate a little bit as they cross the finish line and run a little block for him.
Sellards looking ahead to the checkered flag. Brock Sellards, his first win of the season, his second career victory. Gosselaar in second place. Sellards provides a fascinating situation before swinging over to the 125 East Series next week for us in Indianapolis. I've never seen a happier guy after the win. Here comes James Stewart.
Actually, he's got a long ways to go, Art. He's got the whoop section, the triple, the switchback, the rhythm section before he gets to the finish line. He's going to be a little bit disgusted with this. He's got high expectations and an incredible ability, and he blew it tonight.
Going down twice. James Stewart learning a lesson possibly that it isn't all possible to ride on the edge to get back in the race.
Making one last pass before the finish on Justin Buckelew. And I'll tell you what, Billy Laninovich, Sellards and Mechanic, who finished third, he went across the finish line and whipped that. He was completely upside down. That kid's going to be ecstatic with that third place.
He came into the season with a bad ACL. I wasn't sure that it was completely healed. I don't think it is. But he's a game young rider. One of the fine young riders in the game today is Sellards taking a victory lap. He's so happy. Let's hit the Suzuki results page while our winner takes out his joy with the fans. Gosselaar, a wonderful second place, his second podium. Laninovich, his first ever professional podium. Johnson, Preston, Olaf, Johnson, Tedesco in 8th place. And Stewart in 11th. Can you believe it? Boy, never close your eyes during a race.
Especially this year. Yeah, this year has just been incredible. Nothing is solid.
Well, they're going to have to get out the computer, I think, to figure out what about the points lead. Let's go down to Davey.
Well, I'm down here with Brock Sellards. Brock, it's been so long since you've been in the winner's circle. You're having a hard time getting organized, man. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. You know, I finally stayed on two wheels, got a good start, and I felt great out there. I just got to keep it up. I struggled the first couple rounds. I got in the lead here and crashed at the first round, and I've been injured a lot. This first weekend I rode without any tape on me, so it feels great.
I know you're a kid from Ohio, man. What's it mean to come out here and win it like the capital of the Supercross world, Edison International Field?
It feels great, especially with my Red Bull KTM Thor bikes. I really wanted to get a win for them. I mean, they've done so much in the last couple years coming into the sport of Japanese bikes, and now we're starting to, you know, catch up, maybe start dominating. So I'd like to thank Gary Semix and my brother and my girlfriend for sticking by me and helped me out this season, and my family back home, my dad, my mom, and it's been a great time.
Right on, Brock.
Thanks a lot.
So it answers our Suzuki storyline pretty well as a veteran comes up, and our points leader coming into the round did not fare that well. 4 wins, 4 different riders in 5 rounds for the 125 West. Round 5 of EA Sports Supercross has been brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arena Cross champion. Speed Stick, power of nature for protection that smells good. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Round 5 of the 125 West, we now have 4 different winners. We take a look at the Suzuki results. Brock Sellards' first win since Pontiac in 2000. He answers the question of our Suzuki storyline earlier about veterans stepping it up, especially with James Stewart, the 16-year-old, going down twice, David.
Well, so far in the series, Stewart has been so impressive, and he's just wise beyond his years, but he is a rookie, and tonight he rode like that, but he has 6 weeks to regroup.
Chris Gosselaar, our second place on the podium. Let's go down to Davey.
Right. Well, Chris, another good Anaheim ride, but once again, man, just one spot away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting closer every week, and I feel really good this year. My bike's just excellent, and I got a good team this year, so I have a feeling my time's coming soon.
It looked like you were a little more patient this time when you were riding in second at the end. Sellards just a little bit ahead of you, but he never made a mistake.
Yeah, for sure. Track's really slick, and I made a couple slight mistakes, and I decided to back off, and second's better than last.
Nice ride.
Thank you.
So how does it look as far as the Suzuki points page? A 21-point lead. Travis Preston moving into second place.
Well, Stewart, the concern there is that if he keeps hitting the deck 4 or 5 times a weekend, one of these times he just might not get up and end up with an injury, and Travis Preston will be right where he was hoping he'd be at the end of the series.
That's right. Here's the second 5 now as Decker took a 10th to round out that top 10. David Pingree up to 7th place after his troubles last week. Let's go back to Davey.
Okay. Well, Billy, I want to be the first to welcome you to the podium. Your first professional podium, man. It must feel great.
Oh, thank you. It feels so good. The last 3 weeks haven't been good, and I finally get on here. It's so exciting. I just got out, I got a good start, and just rode smooth.
I know that you grew up out here in California in front of all these fans, probably not this many. How's it feel in front of 45,000 people to get on the podium at Anaheim?
Oh, it feels so good. I can't even explain the feeling. I just thank all the fans for coming out. It's awesome.
I think you'll be up here again.
I sure hope so. If I can get some good starts and use my head and ride smart, I think so. Thanks.
125 West now has a break until Houston on March 23rd, but our next Supercross telecast comes from Indianapolis, where the 125 East will premiere on Saturday, February 16th.